I grew up in a small town called Mount Carroll, Illinois. It's in the northwest corner of Illinois, and believe it or not, that is a really pretty part of Illinois. So I grew up fishing. So matter of fact, when I was born, my dad tells the story of, oh my God, I have a daughter. What am I going to do with a daughter? Well, what my dad did was he stuck a fishing pole, a golf club, a basketball, and a 20-gauge shotgun, which he never should have done, into my arms at an early age. And later pushed me down ski hills, put me on snowmobiles. So I certainly a sports nut and was certainly a tomboy growing up. I have to admit, you can't see it, it's blurry, but I will admit it. That says 1968 on there. Yep, I turned 50 last year. So my background is one of living on the Mississippi River, fishing the sloughs, the wing dams. But my best fishing memory is of Hayward, Wisconsin. My dad, of course, we couldn't catch muskies on the Mississippi River. So we would come up to Wisconsin growing up and also to Canada. And so my dad is out there, he's fishing, he's throwing out those big musky lures, he's not catching anything, and the little 8-year-old girl is sitting in the boat with her pole and, I don't know, 1-pound test line something. I have my bobber, my little minnow hook with a bunch of worms, and we're sitting there, he's not catching anything, and that bobber just plunges down, and I'm reeling it, and I'm like, Dad, I've got a big fish on. And he's like, oh, you're a snag. Because, I mean, that pole was just bent over the side. And he says, no, that's a snag. But then he sees the pole start moving. He's like, my God, you do have a big fish on. So I'm cranking. And fortunately, I was a pretty big gal at 9 years. So I had that pole stuffed in my stomach. And I'm yanking. He gets the net up. And sure enough, that is the biggest muskie you have ever seen. For a 9-year-old, that was the biggest muskie. Well, it ended up being, it did reach the limit. And I think I beat it by 2 inches. And he even let me keep it. We went back to the lodge and I got to ring the muskie bell, have a picture. I really wanted to put that picture up there. Instead, you get me filleting crappies with my dad. I couldn't find that picture. But I have great memories of Wisconsin, and now I've lived here for 30 years. But I tell that story and how it relates to entrepreneurship is this. My dad taught me how to take risks early on. Now, okay, catching the big muskie wasn't necessarily a risk, but what he had me do was skiing and all the different things that he pushed me, telling me I can do anything in life. That really set me up really well, I think, to be an entrepreneur and to know I can try these things and to believe in myself. And I think that's a key and one that we have to keep trying to promote with our young people because we need young entrepreneurs coming through Wisconsin. The other thing he taught me, of course, he came out of the Depression. He said, you know, Lisa, if you work hard, you're going to be successful. And, okay, some of that's really good. And I love the Midwest, and actually I know this globally, that we have a global reputation for our work ethic. But what does it mean when I fail? Does that mean I didn't work hard? I don't think so. Sometimes we just fail, and that's a good thing. We sometimes have to fail to succeed. It was the local electric company, it was a consortium of banks that were called Madison Development Corp, it was the University Research Park that put a package around our company and helped us get launched. So it certainly wasn't just us who worked hard to try and get this going. The community rallied around Novagen. And in 1989, there weren't a lot of biosciences companies, even in Madison, Wisconsin. And that went really well. We grew that thing, and I did every job imaginable, and that's what it's like to be an entrepreneur. And I know there's a lot of you sitting there, you do anything to get this thing off the ground. I even counted plates at a lab. I didn't even know I was counting, but I did anything, right? So it grew, and it was bought by a large multinational corporation called Merck, but Merck of Darmstadt, Germany. You need a really good investor presentation. You have to understand really how you're going to get that, is it a product, if you're going to get a product to market, you have to really be able to say that, how you're going to generate revenue, how you're going to turn that investment so that they get their investment back. Again, they might be looking for cash flow, and I wouldn't, we'd have to see what type of business you're talking about, but you have to be able to tell it quickly and not complicate. You might think that company is the best in the world, and you should have seen me trying to explain a biosciences company to, business people. It's not easy, right? So, and you can't, but they never had the scientists say it because they'd lose them, like in a few seconds, right? So, make it simple, to the point, that you understand the market, you understand the competition, here's how I'm going to do it, boom, you're done. You're done. I got torn apart on my investor presentations. I got it done. I know I'm talking a lot now,